am very excited for our next guest, Dr. Amina Faqim. She is the first Muslim female president and the sixth president of Mauritius. She is a scientist, entrepreneur. She is a mother. I am so happy to have you here at MBRF podcast. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, ma'am. It's a pleasure to be here, and also it's a pleasure for me to be associated with the MBRF for the first time.
With this amazing, beautiful, powerful title as a woman, how is it very important for Dr. Amina to empower women?
You know, I have always said that a bird cannot fly with one wing, and we represent that other wing. So any society that has an ambition to move forward needs to factor in that female factor.
100%.
And so that's why I take the flag forward to see to it that women are empowered. But how women will be empowered will start with the girl child. We need to provide her with all the environment that is needed. And more importantly, we have to inculcate to the father, to the brother, to the uncle, to the grandfather, to the immediate neighborhood of that girl child growing up, that they have to create that, and they have to become the cheerleader of that girl growing up so that she can achieve her best potential. You know, my best cheerleader was my father. And you know what he told me? He always said to me, there is nothing that you are incapable of doing. You can do it. Just go out there, girl, and do it. And this advice has stayed with me and has been kind of my motivational cause all along my life.
So, Dr. Amina, it starts from the home, the country, the surrounding, and everything for women to reach. And there is nothing a woman cannot do.
No, there's nothing that she cannot do.
Yeah.
But she needs to be empowered. She needs to be given that confidence.
100%.
And very often the confidence is taken away when she gets told very stereotyped kind of messaging. Or for example, science is not for girls.
Yes.
I was told that when I was growing up, that science was not for me.
Yeah.
But I had a father who believed in my potential, and I listened to my heart because this is what I was passionate about.
100%.
And I said to myself, I'm going to enjoy my science, and whatever comes later will be factored in because it's part of my passion, my journey.
That's amazing. Dr. Amina, we live in Dubai and the UAE, very empowering to women. What do you think about the initiative that MBRF does in supporting of knowledge, science, innovation?
I think this initiative comes at a very, very critical moment. I think they're bringing the reflection along the line, but I think what they're also bringing, you know, when technology evolves, it moves very fast.
That's very true, yeah.
And unfortunately, the regulatory environment is very slow. And I think what this institution is doing is bringing that thought process to the fold so that those key players who are here attending this forum will be made aware of the need for all these capacity building, regulatory environment, investment, and putting the person at the center of it all.
Yeah.
And this is so key, because at the end of the day, the future of the Middle East, the future of Africa, and where there is a high percentage of young people, we need to have policies which are youth focused, which will help them move, and which should also use the power of our institutions to create that ecosystem which will make them stay in their country and not die in the Mediterranean. So this is so important, and it's down to us leaders to make sure that we create a better future. And as I said yesterday, one issue that we must never forget is the ability to provide hope for the young child. And this hope I especially have, the special notion I have when I see the child growing up in Gaza, provided that child is still alive tomorrow, but we need to ensure that hope is not taken away.
That's very true. Dr. Amina, going back to the science and your journey, as you were told, women cannot be in science. I'd ask you more if you can tell us about your journey in the field of biodiversity and science research, please.
You know, I came into this area totally by accident, and also the fact that I had very motivated teachers. You know, when you are a 10-year-old and 11-year-old, you are forever asking questions.
Sure.
I was forever asking my teachers, why was the sky blue? Why was some plants yellow, some plants green? And
so it started from the younger age.
It started the curiosity, the infection by the virus of science started at a very young age for me.
Okay.
And they were able to answer these questions in a very simplified manner, but not compromising on the integrity of the answers. So this has been my initiation into this journey of science. And to be honest with you, even now, I'm still excited by science, and it has been so helpful in understanding everything. But more importantly, when you're in the sciences, you are very Cartesian in your thought, and you take rational decision. You take decisions which matter for what you research initially, for the institution, and this is so important when you're leading a country,
100%.
because you have to do things which are important for the people.
100%.
And I have, of course, a tendency to focus on the women because I'm myself a woman, and I know the travails that we go through as women folk to
100%.
be heard, to be listened to. So that's the messaging I have. We need to bring in more women. And yesterday I used a very cliche, and I will say it again to you today. We need women at the table, at the decision-making table. If the woman finds herself at that decision table where there is no chair, she brings her own chair. And if the chair is not available, go and make it and bring it. Because we need that woman to be there at that table. You know why? Because decisions which have had female input, they work best for the society, they work best for the country. So that's why we need that female ingenuity, that female intuition, and that female way of thinking. We are more empathetic. That's not a weakness. We are strong. You know, this is not being aggressive.
Yes.
So we have to factor in that knowledge, the fact that we need that component of our society to make the world a better place.
And Dr. Amina, do you see a difference right now in terms of women handling higher position? They're empowered into politics, into different areas. Do you see it now compared more than a couple of years before?
There are areas where women are present, rightly so. In my own country, we have seen feminization of many sectors, the judiciary, the medical profession, the teaching profession, but we don't see them at the political level. And this is where we need them, because this is where policy are shaped. This is where we need the women to be at that table. So why is the case? I mean, this is the thing that we have to consider as really look carefully as a society to understand why women are not going to that sphere. It's a sphere which has been considered to be a very male-dominated. Women get elbowed out of the equation, but we have to make sure that those women who have made it come and take the younger people by the hand and create a space for them to thrive, because we will not be here forever, but we need to leave that legacy of female empowerment.
By empowering and inspiring
other women
to take that journey as well.
To make that journey ahead, yes.
Dr. Amina, you were a Dean of the College of Science at the University of Mauritius. Can you tell us more about the challenges you had being a Dean?
Well, first of all, you're a woman. That's a challenge.
Okay, true.
That's already. I think if you want to do things differently, because, you know, when I started my journey in the sciences, it was a time when science was practiced in silos. So if you're a mathematician, you do only maths, chem physics, only physics. But even at the time when I was starting my journey, even before reaching the deanship, I was convinced that development will come at the interface. And 21st century Nobel Prize winners have proven me right. Most of the sciences, most of the Nobels now, they are coming at the interface of science. So we need, and this is exactly where we are at the MBRF, that shows that the multidisciplinarity, the discussion we need to have interfield and inter-themes, so as to bring out the best of what society can benefit from by the intuition of the people operating at that level.
Amazing, nice. And I mean, I'm sure it's very important, but how can we enhance the international collab in research and innovation?
Research, innovation, collaboration are critical features for the way forward. And unfortunately, as we proceed now in the world we're living in, we find that this is not really the case. We are finding a very fragmented world we're living in. For example, at the multilateral level, we find a weakening of the multilateral system. And this is something that we have to be very mindful. So we need to keep on collaborating, we need to keep on cooperating, and we need to keep on, really developing the dialogue with the region, with the countries, with like-minded and also non-like-minded people, because they also have something to offer.
100%.
So we need to actually secure that conversation so that we enhance security, because at the end of the day, clashes happen when there is no knowledge of our neighbors, for example. And when I was in office, I was promoting interfaith and intercultural dialogue, because this is key to really strengthen the social fabric of our countries, of our region. And it's only when you get to know your neighbor, you get to appreciate them, that society will be stronger.
And Dr. Amina, from your experience, how can you give us an example of how you used science to promote sustainability in Mauritius?
When I started my journey, I went into the field of traditional knowledge. I was laughed at because, you can't be serious. You can't be working on weeds and pretending to be getting results. But I secured the traditional knowledge of the herbal knowledge of my country. And this has been used to create institution.
Yes.
And through this, I managed to actually employ many young people. So in fact, coincidence was that I was employing mostly women. It's not that I was being negative against men, but the most dedicated researchers I found, they were women.
Wow.
So I had this really big group of essentially women.
Yeah.
And so this has been my contribution, to create the awareness that we need to go beyond the valley of death, use our own resources, and thus ensure the sustainability of it. Because if you're working with plants, you have to make sure that there are good practices which are factored in. So good collection practices, because certification which can be brought in, good collection practices, good agricultural practices. That way you develop agriculture. And agriculture, as you know, maybe it gives out a lot of greenhouse gas, but it also has the ability of taking in greenhouse gas, the gas which has emitted. So it's an area that has a lot of potential, an area which can empower many women, an empower that can create many jobs. And of course, who says create jobs? And if you look at Africa, it's an area which feeds the continent, and women feed the continent. So I can safely say that I brought in my little chip to that discussion.
Amazing. And to sadly end the interview, it was a very interesting, amazing interview, very inspiring, to be very honest, Dr. Amina. A message you want to send to all the young women when it comes to science, to politics, what do you want to tell them?
I want to tell them to be passionate about what they do. And I have always adopted Confucius' philosophy that if you're passionate about what you do, you will not have to work a single day in your life.
That is true, 100%.
And also listen to your heart. And there is nothing better, there is no better leadership message than to be kind. Let us be kind.
Let's be kind. Thank you so much, Dr. Amina Faqeem. I was very honored to have you here with us in MBRF broadcast. Thank you, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much.